Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of last night's really enjoyable and exciting new episode of The Walking Dead, and that was Season 6, Episode 14, Twice as Far. Now, like I just said, this one was really enjoyable for me. It certainly wasn't the best, but it was really enjoyable and I really liked it personally. I think it's one of those where it was definitely above average, but not the greatest. It was just solid. It was something you can enjoy watching. You could probably rewatch and enjoy it, but it wasn't like No Way Out or Not Tomorrow Yet or anything. I thought there were some parts in this one that were a bit slow. They were a slow build-up, but they led to good stuff, and I think that if you look at it as a whole, it was enjoyable as a whole. In general, it was entertaining. Now, I'm going to break it down part by part, give my general thoughts, and then a score as usual. And first up in my general thoughts, as for my predictions, this matched my prediction that before the credits, they were going to reestablish our group at Alexandria, show the cast there. And I absolutely love their choices. I absolutely love how they did it. And that was by showing their sort of everyday schedule at Alexandria. I really liked that. I really thought it was a good way to show both the passage of time and show more about how our characters spend their everyday lives. Now, Morgan built a jail cell, we see, and I'm really thinking that's going to be very, very important later on. And I will get into that in, I guess, my predictions in a discussion, because I do think it's going to be really important later on, but not it'll probably I don't know. It has a reason to be here this season. It definitely has a reason, and it'll be important far later in the series, but the fact that it's here at this point in the series and the fact that Morgan built it, I think, is very important. We also got Rosita and Spencer kind of confirmed. I know a lot of people have been leaning towards, okay, they're going to be together or they are together. Now we got it kind of confirmed. They're kind of together, but their passion, their romance isn't really on fire or anything. Now, in this episode, we got a bunch of development with Abraham and Eugene, and we got Eugene finding the ammo production workshop. So that was all really good, and I really liked the development with both of those characters in this episode. And let me tell you, I am so bummed. After that episode, I was just so sad. I was so bummed out. Man, because I like Denise's character. I really like the actress. I like the character, and I thought that the character had so much potential, so much to do in the future. And it really got me that she died. It bummed, it didn't make me shocked or sad that much, but it bummed me out, man. It was so sad. It was just so depressing. And especially when why couldn't they have just shot Rosita? She was there and I don't want to sound like I'm just hating on the Rosita character all the time, but I think she would, storyline wise, she was a much better character to kill there, because there would have been more emotional impact because Rosita has been with us for a few seasons, and it wouldn't have been as detrimental to the potential future story, because potential future story, Denise had a lot she could do. She had a lot of different pathways to take, a lot of good stuff there. Rosita's character has been stale for a while, and I still think it's a very stale and boring character. Rosita's very boring, and I think she really does little to nothing except just look at everybody like she's angry all the time. That's essentially Rosita's only character. If you were to ask me, name a character trait of Rosita's, she bitches at everybody for any little thing, and she just stares at them angrily all the time. Rosita doesn't do that much to help from what I've seen watching the series for seasons now. I want to bring up, too, that the apothecary set looked really, really great, and that the scenes there were really well done. They really brought the emotion that they were trying to, and I think that they pieced together very well. the way they went about it was a bit slow, but it was slow, but I enjoyed it the entire time. I enjoyed the journey. Like, not just the payoff. A show needs to make you enjoy the journey too, and I really did enjoy the journey through this episode building up. And of course we have Denise's death, and we have Dwight showing back up. Now Dwight's burns were something that when he first showed up, me and my sister watched together, so we talked about it a bit, how like his burns were a little bit underwhelming at first. Like, they aren't as severe as they are in the comics, and I'm not going to get into comic spoilers. I'm just like comparing the two visually. His burns in the comics look way cooler, but I do like that his burns in the show, to me, look more realistic. Like, his burns in the comic where I think it's really cool how he's like sort of missing the eyelid, so he has to carry around eye drops, and it makes it look like he's always crying. I really think that looks cool, but it's not that realistic for the show. And honestly, if you're going, like, just say, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if an object is to burn your face, like, the face is kind of curved. On a comic, they can show, because it's a 2D space, like, they can show, like, it looks like all of this is burnt, but in real life, that's kind of a curved space, so, like, pressing a flat object up against it wouldn't really burn it like that very much. But, I like how this one, it does look like just a flat space up against more the side is burnt. And I like how, like, I wasn't convinced that it looked that great until he turned and we saw the side, and the side looked really cool with sort of the hair and ear missing. That looked really cool, and that's what brought me around to really thinking it looked more realistic, and I really liked it. I think they did it well. And I don't think that everyone is going to think that they did it well, but I think it's a bit realistic, and I liked it. And a lot of complaints that I saw from people were saying it doesn't really look very red, and I always expected it to look kind of red, and I did too personally, but maybe that isn't totally realistic of me to expect. So I will say that I think it was done well. It was done as realistically as they could do it in this sort of situation. Now, I might be on the minority side here, but I didn't like the Eugene dick biting scene very much. Man, I don't know of a better scene to call it than dick biting. But the reason I say I don't like it is because it was in the middle of a shootout, and they were just sitting there in the middle of a shootout, and nobody aimed at or shot either one of them during this whole shootout, while they just sat there and struggled for multiple seconds. And it just seemed like one of those fake Hollywood struggles, like back and forth. It just didn't seem very realistic. And I think that the way it pulled me out of the realism is kind of what hurt it. And of course, not everything's going to be super realistic. It's about zombies. But beyond the zombie thing, everything else is usually very realistic, and they don't stray too much into just cheesing things for the show aspect of it. But this did feel a little bit cheesed. I'm going to say at the end, too, the scene with Abraham and Sasha was super good. I thought the acting from Sasha was amazing. Just her facial expressions, not even having to say anything, but just being able to read the facial expressions. Abraham and Sasha, their actors did wonderful work there. That was a very good scene to me. I did think it was really awesome. And at the very end, I'm going to bring up, I think it's a dick move by Carol. Like, seriously, it's a dick move. At a time like this, you're going to leave because you know they're going to go after you. You know all this shit's going to go down. Like, to me, it just seems like a dick move. I know, like, she's doing what she wants to do and all that, but I don't know. Seems to me like kind of a selfish move almost. And where I think it'll lead, I think next episode, I'm going to go deeper into all this on predictions and discussion and whatnot, but I think this really sets up Morgan to be the one to save Carol next episode from whatever danger or whatever she gets into, save her and bring her back, and that'll get us as fans to switch sides and really start to like Morgan, because I know pretty much all the fans I've seen really dislike Morgan's character, and honestly, I don't even think the writers were expecting people to dislike Morgan so much. So I think that Morgan may be a bit of a failure of a character. But I think they can bring him back. I think they can get fans to start liking Morgan, and as soon as they start liking him, kill Morgan off in the finale and make us really feel for it. Will that happen? Not convinced. I'm very scared. It looks like that Carol may die in the finale or even next episode, and I don't know if I'm totally prepared for that. I really do like Carol. She is probably my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters, so gonna be very disappointed to see her go, if indeed she does go, and it's looking like they're building that way. So in the end, this episode, good pacing, not the best, but good pacing, great entertainment value, very entertaining, very enjoyable. And I feel like both the shock and the emotion of this episode were both there. It was both captured well, it was both done well. So I gotta say that props to the creators for that. So all in all, this was a very good episode. I would say it's on the upper side of what I would consider good. And as a number score, that would probably be like 8.5 dick chomps out of 10. I kind of stretched with that one. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10, because it was really good and really enjoyable, really solid episode. But it wasn't like sort of blow my mind, we've come so far kind of entertaining like No Way Out or Not Tomorrow Yet were. So very high end of good, but not really like great. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode. Like if you guys liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down there and tell me what you thought of the episode, what you thought of my thoughts, the discussion, and then predictions on next week will both be up later in the week, like usual, Wednesday and Friday. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Subscribe for more The Walking Dead, Tower of God, One Piece, and a lot more. Do at least 3 videos on each of those series every week. Follow on Twitter for updates on when a video is being posted or if a video needs to be pushed back. And I believe that's everything. Thank you all again for the millionth time. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next time.